Hello, my name is Jack McPhail, and today I'll be talking about increasing the safety regulations for high school football. Football, no matter the level, high school, college, or professional, is going to be dangerous. There's big hits, and there's big guys trying to hit you. There's no way around it, really. But the only difference between these levels is the maturation of the brain. So your brain does not finish maturing until its mid 20s or even early 30s in some cases. So now that we know that the brain is underdeveloped while these kids are playing high school football, and they're taking the same amount of hits as these NFL players, if not more, should we allow for the same safety regulations that we use for our professionals to be used for our high school underdeveloped minds? And I know that sounds a little bit twisted. Yeah, these guys are experts. They are the best of the best to have ever been playing this game that 1% of man is able to be paid for to play. But is the NFL picking these guys for their minds and how smart they are? Probably not. They're picked because of their physical abilities and how accurate they can throw a ball to a degree. I know that IQ in sports is a very big thing, and it plays so many roles, and it makes a player a better player, which is even more of a reason to increase the safety regulations. And this not only will help out high school students, but it'll also help out those high school students who play college ball and they then get drafted to the NFL. So really, we are benefiting all three levels of the sport. The problem with a sport like football is that it's just not sustainable. When a player sustains an injury, they're out for the season or indefinitely. And when they do come back, they're just not the same. But with a concussion or head injury, yeah, they take the time off, and then they're back to normal or they're back to playing. But you don't really know. And with CTE, that is constant battle, and it's brewing. And the more you get hit, the worse it gets. And it just creates more and more problems, and you just don't see it on the outside because you can't see what's happening up here out here. Most neurologists say that 3 concussions is the number of concussions that a player should sustain, and if they sustain those 3 concussions, then they should stop playing football. This is at NFL, college, or high school level. The problem with this, though, is if they were to be released from playing football, then they're not going to want to talk to their coach or their health staff about, having a head injury, and this could make CTE way worse for them. So what I think that they should do is they should educate their coaches to then educate their student athletes. So these athletes should be able to recognize the signs of concussions and be able to treat themselves and take care of themselves at home, so that they know that they're being safe and that they are able to keep playing the game that they love. The coaches should also be trained in how to show their students how to hit safely and how to take a fall safely. And both of these, you're probably thinking, how can you fall or take a hit safely? Well, there's an art to it. Learning how to land on your side, learning how to protect yourself when you're going in, and how to hit them effectively and without injuring yourself. What I said earlier about the coaches educating how to hit safely and how to take a hit safely is essentially the way that we do it. So a lot of players in the NFL, they hit with their head and they go all in, and these kids who watch the games on their TV see this and they're like, all right, if that's the way that professionals do it, I should do that too. And little do they know that CTE and concussions are just every day for those men out there on the field, and these kids just aren't aware of it. So by instead of hitting with your head, hitting with their shoulders or just different points of contact that aren't as traumatized to the head would be a good step in the right direction for these coaches to talk about and show their players how to hit safely. The next topic I want to talk about is sports gear. So the high school gear is, I've seen it personally, and it's old, it's cracked, and it's tied together with old shoelaces and straps, and it's not as effective and as safe as it could be. Especially the helmets too. There's certain helmets that are amazing for you and help cradle the brain properly, and there's some that are just terrible and do not protect the brain the way it should. So by starting an organization that could raise money and support these high school students who can't afford the proper gear and the safest gear, this organization could provide a lot of good care for these athletes who can't afford the proper gear that they need and deserve. Another good idea is not only do concussions happen in the games, but they also happen in practices. So by limiting full contact practices, then that could also be a safer option for these students to play, because changing the whole dynamic of the game and taking tackling out of it isn't the right solution. We're trying to increase the safety of the game, but not change the love of the game and change the dynamic of the game. Also, return to play guidelines should be more strict. Personally, when I was in high school, all the kids would talk about, oh, my arm's hurting, oh, I have a headache. And I remember this one kid having this headache, and he'd always talk to me about it. And I was like, you should probably go get it checked out. And he literally said to me, and it's funny that we're talking about this now, but he said, I don't want coach to take me out of the game, which I completely understand. But also, is high school sports really worth potentially ruining the rest of your life? Because if you don't get that checked out now, what's going to happen in 10 years when you got hit more in the head? So by having stricter protocols and making sure that these students talk to their coaches and have a very safe and open talk about this, we can make sure that these students are being as healthy as they can. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you enjoyed, and hopefully you learned and I convinced you of why we should change the regulations.